What's going on, EV fam? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about Jay-Z being accused of raping a 13-year-old back in 2000. Now, this is a or over a 20-year allegation, an accusation right here. Apparently, as of right now, it's just a civil lawsuit. There's no criminal lawsuits filed. There's no charges being pressed at this very moment. But one thing I do want to note, and I'm pretty sure you guys know and have seen this or heard of this before in the past 10, 15 years, if you grew up with internet, uh, the elites of the elites, the Jay-Z's, the Diddy's, the Epstein's, everybody that is running Hollywood, the music industries, whether it's hip hop, country, rock, it doesn't matter. There's always been a conspiracy with these kind of people, the billionaires, the multimillionaires, the music moguls. There's always been a conspiracy about English would be amazing. There's always been a conspiracy around these people about, attending the Illuminati mansion parties where you have to do embarrassment rituals where they record you and you do, some egregious things that are unspeakable or that they don't want to, you know, see daylight, and they make you do those things so that they can hold that as leverage over your head, so that they can make, these people do whatever they want in their industries, uh that they pretty much run the industry. And the Illuminati, if you know anything or have heard anything about the Illuminati conspiracies, they always mention the Jay-Z's, the P Diddy's, and people of that sort. So that conspiracy has been, at least in my life, a lifetime conspiracy. Because growing up, my mom always told me about the music industry and Hollywood being evil, and how the people that are in power and higher stature and have a big label behind them, and their name holds a heavy status, those people have bad intents or bad intentions. And I've just heard that my whole life. I haven't had a personal experience with any of these people that I'm going to be speaking about. So this is all allegations at the moment, an accusation, a civil lawsuit. There is no definite, you know, clear cut evidence for anything. But like I said, there's always been conspiracies around these kind of people. And everybody has heard that Jay-Z and Beyonce run the music industry, especially when it comes to hip hop. So this is kind of crazy to see, especially after P. Diddy has been picked up and, you know, the FBI had dug into his file and, snatched him up. And now he's going through what he's going through. The R. Kelly kind of people, the Jeffrey Epsteins, the Harvey Weinsteins, all these people that are multi-millionaires, billionaires even, are being put in the spotlight and on the hot seat and being accused of grape, uh, you know, SA, uh, sexual assault, a bunch of crazy things that there's always been conspiracies about, but has never seen the light of day. And that makes me wonder why now in 2024, after all these years that they've apparently and quote unquote been doing these kind of things, why is this now being put out there? Why are file charges being filed as of now? Why are people finally stepping forward and wanting to say something? And another thing too about the Jay-Z situation is when the R&B artist Aaliyah was still alive, she was married, I believe, to R. Kelly. Not only was she married to R. Kelly, I believe Jay-Z was trying to get with her And at the time when she was married to R. Kelly, she was still in her teens, and R. Kelly was a full grown adult, full grown man. And same thing for Jay-Z. And Aaliyah was still in her teens, but both of those guys were trying to get with Aaliyah. And then, later on down the line, obviously Jay-Z ended up with Beyonce, but I think she was I don't want to say she was in her teens, but she was definitely younger when Jay-Z got with her. Jay-Z's a few years older than her as well. So, that's just something to keep in mind. Um, and all these people have a lot in common with each other. The Jay-Z's, the R. Kellys, the P. Diddy's. They also have relationships with, the Epsteins, the Weinsteins. They have relationships with a lot of people because of their status in the world, their money. I just find it quite interesting. But let's check this clip out really quick, and then we'll move on.
All right, did you hear about this? Rapper and music mogul Jay-Z is now being accused of raping a 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs during an MTV VMA after party in the year 2000. The rapper issued a blistering statement in response and directed his comments at attorney Tony Busby, who filed the suit, saying, quote, "You've made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children."
Hold on, before we finish that, the fact that he said I'm a young man. Now that could have been a typo. He probably meant to say I was a young man who made it out of Brooklyn. This man is like what, 55, I believe, or 50 something. Last time I checked, that's part of the over the hill gang. At that point, you're approaching senior citizen, my boy. Like all jokes aside, bro, you're literally approaching to be a senior citizen. You're over 50 years old. That's in the eyes of the world, that's not a young man. Now you might feel young, cool. I can't take that away from you. If you think you're young or feel young mentally and physically still, great, cool, awesome. But honestly speaking, and technically speaking, 50 is not a young man. Now, if you were still in your 30s or whatever, 35, maybe just approaching 40, you could use that. We'll let you slide. But when you're 50 and over, bro, come on, dog. You over the hill and no longer a young man. But let's continue this video real quick.
You seem to exploit people for personal gain. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Criminal defense attorney Lexi Rigdon joins me now. Lexi, good morning to you. What a development here. So another thing Jay-Z said in his statement is that this was a civil suit filed against him. And he said these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one, essentially saying, if I really did these things, treat me the way I should be treated. So how should we be thinking about all of this? What do you think?
Well, that's some denial from him. And, sometimes celebrities have pretty muted denials, like, I'm not going to comment now, or I direct all questions to my lawyers. I actually admire the strength of the denial. I think that at this point, there's no objective indicia of reliability to this complaint. Now, obviously, things are going to play out and we're going to end up learning more. But if you look at it on its face, it's a 24-year-old complaint. Very significantly, he was not named in the lawsuit in the first instance when it was filed. The girl was allegedly 13 at the time it happened. And in the complaint, it says that she had been given something and she was quote unquote woozy. And so I think that this just needs to be looked at in kind of a measured way. Unlike the media is treating some people in the media, Pete Hegseth being one of them, where they automatically hear an allegation and they run with it. I think that this needs to be treated in a measured type of way. We don't need knee-jerk societal reactions. Anybody can make allegations against somebody, and people who are rich and famous are particularly targets. And so obviously
she hit that on the head for a second. I do want to speak about that because of the stuff that's going on with P. Diddy at this very moment, this might encourage others to falsify allegations and accusations against these well-known moguls and millionaires and billionaires of the world, to try and blackmail them to essentially receive money. They might have they may have rejected these people that are filing a suit against these, the Diddy's and the Jay Z or Diddy, or specifically, let's stay away from Diddy right now. Specifically, Jay Z, he could have denied somebody entrance or access to something, or he could have, not done business with this woman. Uh, who knows what could have happened. This is all shoulda, coulda, woulda kind of stuff. Like, we don't know exactly. We don't have the facts at the moment. But this could essentially be blackmail, and also just to tarnish his name because they don't like him for God knows whatever reason. Who knows what that reason could be? Who knows? But there's a lot of things that could play into why a lawsuit has now been filed after all of these years. You know, these people are millionaires and billionaires. If you see an open window or open door or opportunity to try and make a come up off of these guys, especially if, you know, your life financially or whatever the case may be isn't going that well, and you legit just don't like these people and you want to see them either A, ruin their lives, or tarnish their name, or receive some compensation from all this, there's a bunch of reasons. But that's just another thing to keep in mind. And like I said, we don't have facts right now. We just have an accusation that has been made, and there isn't any facts been presented yet, but I'm pretty sure there might be later on down the line. You know, it's just another thought. But it is what it is at this point. People are trying to get over any way they can and make money any way they can. So I guess when you're rich, famous, and super rich, stuff like this, comes with that territory. So I guess you kind of gotta, be ready. That's why you have lawyers, and you go through the court process.
I don't know what happened, but I think it just needs to play out, and we need to give him the benefit of the doubt at this point.
Well, that's what Tony Busby is saying. So this federal lawsuit was originally filed in October. So interesting that we're only learning about this now. And then Tony Busby responded to Jay-Z's statement by writing this on X. Since I sent the letter on her behalf, meaning the defendant, Mr. Carter has not only sued me, but he has tried to bully and harass me, and this plaintiff. We will let the filing speak for itself and will litigate the facts in court, not in the media. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York declined to comment on whether the office is pursuing this case. So what happens next?
Well, who knows what's going to happen with that? I mean, we don't know if the feds are going to be looking into this. They may well be at this point. I think that there are people further looking into Diddy. I think there might be a superseding indictment coming, and probably looking into the people that he's associated with himself. But this also may well be beyond the statute of limitations. So it really just depends. I mean, as it stands right now, I can't imagine that there's enough evidence to necessarily bring something, because somebody's accuser saying something happened 24 years ago without more evidence is probably not going to be enough. But then again, we don't know what evidence she has. So it really remains to be seen if this is actually going to be passed on to the criminal authorities, or if they're working on it at this point.
All right. So
yeah, so like she said, there's no hard evidence. They can't completely, I guess you could say, agree with that allegations or accusations, and they really can't speak too much on it because I keep saying it. There is no evidence presented at this very, very moment. That's not to say that there won't be later on down the line, or that there wasn't any that existed. But as of right now, we have no more facts. We have no more evidence. So, we can't really take it for what it is at the moment. We kind of have to give Jay-Z the benefit of the doubt, because it is innocent until proven guilty. And they haven't proved anything yet. But this accusation and allegation is absolutely insane. It's crazy. Personally, I believe it. There's just too many conspiracies in the world, and too many things that's been said, and truths, quote unquote, that have been told about these kind of people and these higher ups and that run the industries of the world. And if there's been so many people saying, the same things, so many different people in different walks of life making the same claims. If it walks like a duck, talks like or quacks like a duck, it looks like a duck, it's got to be a duck, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, innocent until proven guilty. We don't know, we don't have the facts. But I think Diddy did it for sure. And that leads me to believe if Diddy did it, his associates have done it. R. Kelly did it. Diddy did it. Jay-Z most likely has done it. But I don't know. That's just my take, my thoughts personally. Let's go over here to this X post that I seen. And, Jaguar Wright has always been spilling the beans for as long as I can remember. And people always want to say, oh, Jaguar Wright is crazy. She's not credible. She's not credible. But yeah, everything that she has said is came to light and shown true. Like, the Diddy situation. Now he's facing his charges and going through what he's going through in his court cases. The Weinsteins, the Epsteins, uh, about Aaliyah. The R. Kelly. She's spoken about a lot of things, but it's just crazy, dude. Like people don't want to believe you until the evidence is right in their face. I mean, I kind of don't blame everybody, but at the same time, you can't just call somebody crazy because you haven't experienced it. That doesn't mean that they haven't. And she was close to these people. She's actually done music and done business with these people. So you kind of got to give her some kind of a credibility towards what she's saying. But these guys always being together is kind of weird to me. You know what I'm saying? They've grown up in the business together. They're both from New York. They came up in New York around the same time. Uh, you know, Puffy was the manager of Biggie Smalls, and Jay-Z was coming up around that time as well, making music. And I just find it very, very odd, and they've always had a close, tight-knit relationship with each other. But let's listen to this clip from Jaguar Wright.
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter.
Let's run that back one more time. It's only 21 seconds.
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs
Diddy.
have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter.
Jay-Z. Sean Combs is Diddy. Sean Carter is Jay-Z. That's their actual government names. So, they all have a lot in common. They've all been in cahoots with each other. They've all done business with each other. We don't know 100% sure if Jay-Z did it, but it's crazy. Like I said earlier, if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it looks like a duck, it's got to be a duck. You know what I'm saying? But, moving on. Plain and simple, man. The Bible tells us about, how Satan, if you operate and work for Satan and do the work of Satan's kingdom and operating outside of the heavenly kingdom and outside of Jesus Christ, Satan will give you what you want. He comes to steal and kill and destroy. If you allow Satan to bless you, he's going to give you what you want, and then he is just going to take it away. He's like, okay, well, I have no more use for you. You've already expanded my kingdom. You've already done my work. Now, everything that I've given you, let me take that away. Just to show you, you ain't nothing, and you're not never going to be nothing. And that's going to bring people to a low state. on this earth and make them feel like they're living in a continuous cycle of hell on earth. You know, you've received your riches, you've received everything you've ever wanted in your life because you've listened and gave into the the devil's commands and what he wanted you to do and his will for your life, as opposed to doing God's will and accepting Jesus in your life. And you chose riches. So with that being said as well, you know, also to keep it simple today, you know, these verses are very well known. You know, they're pretty, I guess you can say famous. Another one in Matthew, it says, for what profit is it to a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? You're willing to tarnish your name for riches, which at the end of the day, or tarnish your soul, rather, just for riches, when at the end of the day, all that is going to perish. Everything that you've got money wise will perish. You know, your name and your faith is all you got in this world. And if you do things that are or would allow your name to be tarnished, for people to throw smut on your name for doing wickedness, promoting wickedness, it's not worth it, dude. It's not worth it. What will a man give in exchange for his soul? Apparently a lot. Apparently a lot. And if you don't know who Jesus Christ is, then you're willing to do anything in this world to gain riches, fame, and to be at a high stature or high status in life. It's pride. People want to be respected. People want to have money. People want to have cars. They want to have houses. They want to have businesses. They want to be respected. They want their name to hold weight. It all boils down back to pride and the lust of the flesh. And our flesh is wicked, man. That's why Jesus tells us to take up our cross and crucify our flesh on a daily and turn to him. I'm not saying it's easy by any means. I'm not saying it's easy. We've all fallen short. Sometimes we still stumble. We fall short. I fall short. I'm nowhere near perfect. Don't get that twisted. Nowhere near perfect. I'm not judging this man. I'm not judging anybody. But when we see wicked publicly, we call it out publicly. If I knew him in private, I would speak to him in private. But I don't know these people. Personally, I don't want to know these people unless they're willing to make change, because the fruit that they seem to be bearing is not fruit of the spirit. So, you know, I try to stay away from people like that and not further corrupt my mind or my life in any way, shape, or form. But like I said, man, this walk of Christ is not easy. Crucifying your flesh is not easy. Not giving into the temptations of the devil, of the lust of your flesh, it's not easy, dude. It's not. And that's just being 100% honest. But that's all I got on this topic, man. Get in my comments. Let me know what you guys think. Like this video. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button right here in this corner and tap that bell notification so you get notified every single time that I release a new video. Also, YouTube has some recommended videos right here for you guys, just in case you would like some more Christian content. I love you guys. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.